Good afternoon, traders and investors. Will back here with another one. Happy Thursday to everybody. Hope you guys had a great day trading today. A little bit of a market bounce here as our daily bounces are underway. The bulls have captured the hourly trend changes to the upside. So we will see how long and how far these bounces can last. So as usual, guys, we're going to cover our major indexes, of course, our major tech names. Lastly, my portfolio, little bit of a position change coming into tomorrow, but positions looking good for the week, guys. And we are also going to cover Nike earnings because we just had a big one. You guys know that I've been playing a lot of Nike at a very decent valuation, in my opinion, currently. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it here. You can see SPY up 0.58%, QQQ up 0.84%. QQQ is actually up over 1% on the day, pulling back ever so slightly into the end of the day here. If you can see on the heat map here, you can see that most of the market was green. So broad market rally ever since yesterday afternoon. This is what you like to see, guys. Really broad market recovery, except for utilities. On the one-day performance, you can see that all of the market in the green here, led by basic materials, communication services, technology putting in a decent day, of course. Utilities down, but on the 1 week relative here, guys, we are still negative, and on the 1 month, well, you guys know the month of September has been absolutely brutal to most sectors out there. The only one still etching out some gains was energy because of oil. And let's take a look at oil here, guys. You can see that oil actually had a decent little pullback today. So we will see, for all you oil guys out there, we will see if this now marks the top of the weekly move on oil, and if we are potentially due for some pullback here down into the mid 80 range, closer to our moving averages here. But oil so far has been trending up for the last pretty much 2 months here. It has been a major contributor to several aspects of inflation, and that's what the market wasn't liking here. So guys, before we get into our major index technical analysis here, we are going to go over our Nike earnings here. So Nike today, actually with a bit of a mixed bag, if I do say so myself. They beat on earnings, beat on profit margins, which is very good as well, but they had a slight miss on revenue, ever so slight miss on revenue here by about $60 million. Not the biggest deal in the world, guys, especially considering that they did have a bump in EPS and margins. That usually outweighs the negatives here. So you can see Nike is up over 8% in the after hours here, all the way back up to $96. That's going to be a very good level for tomorrow here, guys. That puts them right around here, right? So Nike bulls will have taken back a lot of this downswing here. Remains to be seen. Have they created enough space to potentially reset for a daily uptrend? If you get the daily uptrend, guys, your weekly bounce will also be underway. And you can see here Nike trading very decently in terms of discounts here, all the way down here from all-time highs, roughly 46% as it stands. So very good job on Nike here of recovering in the after hours. I like this company a lot. It's Nike. It's enough to be said. Obviously, they've been struggling with problems in China and with problems with people spending less on discretionary items, meaning that they have less disposable income to spend or splurge on items that they don't necessarily need. So potentially opting to use their current existing shoes for longer, guys. As you guys know, Nike is a brand that has a lot of consumer cyclicality. When times are good, people don't have problems going out and spending $200-300 on an extra pair of shoes and having 5, 6, 7, 10 pairs of shoes, right? But when times are rough, they usually tend to focus more on groceries and need to focus that money more on items that they use to live on a day-to-day basis here. So let's go over the earnings call very briefly here. Nike misses on revenue for the first time in 2 years, slightly, guys. $60 million on $13 billion. Drop in the ocean, in my opinion. But stock pops as earnings and the margins beat here. So very decent earnings call here. Nothing special, however. They did reiterate a few problems that they're having with the China recovery story. As you guys know, China is now being plagued with somewhat of a recession, and spending power in China has been coming down. That has hit other retailers as well, such as Louis Vuitton. So even the luxury products taking a little bit of a hit in China here. You can see sales fell 2% in North America, but rose in every other region it operates in. So a bit of a counterbalance here on Nike as a whole. What I want to bring you guys' attention to is the sales in China did grow 5% compared to the year ago period to 1.7 billion, but fell a bit short to the 1.8 billion of analyst expectations. So slight here miss on Nike here. Nike, obviously, last quarter, you guys, if you guys remember this stock, that's when they really had the big increase in sales from China, as China was having a very nice quarter, and now China's kind of plateaued in terms of their economy and coming ever so slightly down as well. So while Nike remains bullish on China, the region's economic recovery has so far been a mixed bag. This is true. Following a sluggish July, retail sales picked up during the month of August to rise 4.6% compared to the prior year, beating expectations of a 3% growth forecast here. So very, very decent here in every other region besides North America, right? But we all know, guys, that the threat of a looming recession has got people tight on their spending power. So it is very normal, guys, that people have reduced spending here. 2% is not a very big number in my opinion here, but when you're dealing in billions and tens of billions of dollars, obviously that does hurt a bit of the bottom line. And another problem that Nike was having was inventory mismanagement. I wouldn't necessarily say mismanagement, but what they did in the end of 2020 and 2021, you guys remember there was big supply chain constraints. So what a lot of companies did is they piled inventory to not have to rely on direct to consumer sales and long shipping times here. So they stockpiled a bunch of inventory and they've been grappling with that, right? As you can see, Nike grappled with excess inventories throughout 2023 as they tried to liquidate that, right? As it relied on partners to move the merchandise for them. It's now restored a relationship with Macy's and DSW accounts that previously cut in favor of its DTC direct to consumer strategy here. So all in all, guys, fairly decent here. The inventories fell 10% to 8.7 billion. The drop was driven by a decrease in units, but offset by product mix and higher manufacturing and production costs. So they have been liquidating a lot of merchandise, all while rolling out a bit of new merchandise as well. They've been doing a good job at that, guys. But the problem with these companies is when you build up such high inventory here, then when you have to liquidate it, obviously you have to liquidate it at lower wholesale prices. So it did hurt their bottom line ever so slightly, but they were able to beat on EPS estimates and on profit margins estimates. So the last quarter, they kind of sandbagged themselves. They gave themselves a bit low estimates, and then they were able to beat them, which is why, in my opinion, you're getting a nice little pop here on the stock in after hours. Nike, I will reiterate, this stock is a buy for me anywhere on under $100. I will be playing this now that earnings are through. I didn't want to take a chance this week on playing Nike, even though it was down here in the range. I didn't even want to take a chance last week because earnings were coming up, and I knew that this was going to be a hit or miss retailer, guys. A miss on revenue and EPS and lower guidance and margins, guys, would have really hurt this stock, would have sent it down to the lower 80s in my opinion, and that would have been a straight buy for me. So now I will be looking to play Nike here. Once we've recovered, we open tomorrow around the 96. I will be looking over the next few days here, guys, to see if I can write something close to the lower $90 range. So that's pretty much it for Nike here. Now, let's get into our major indexes, yeah? So SPY, a little bit of a pop here, right? Daily bounce is underway. 200 EMA here, green line acting as support the last 3 days. Why is the daily bounce underway, guys? They have changed the hourly trend, okay? You can see that they never really got a successful hourly trend change this whole time. They were never able to get the hourly trend change. Now, this is pretty much since the FOMC, right? Since last Thursday and Friday, right? We have not really had an hourly trend change in this entire market. Now that you get the hourly trend change to the bulls, we will see, can they maintain that hourly trend change? The entire time that we're in an hourly uptrend here, your daily bounce will be underway. The area that I'm targeting is obviously have to be your previous area here, right here, 433 to 435. That's going to be this pocket right here, right? Previous support is now going to be resistance here. There's also the moving averages acting as resistance. So we'll see, can the bulls comfortably pull up in this section? If they do pull up in this section, guys, that will be somewhat of a decent bounce here. In my opinion, not enough to guarantee a daily trend change, but they can be able to do it here, guys. If we only bounce all the way up to about 430 and start rolling over, it's not going to look good. We may just roll over for the further of the daily downtrend here. Obviously, bears in full short-term control here. Daily downtrend and now weekly downtrend as well. But looking like a little bit of a temporary bottom, which is why I have been fairly aggressive here on my dip buys and my options writing this week, because I did feel that there was a bounce that was going to be underway. Obviously, our RSI levels were crushed, always looking to get that. And also the fear and greed index was showing extreme fear and fear as of the last 2 days. That's usually when you want to send a little bit of buying power to the bulls here and get the little bounce going. So we will see, guys. The size of the bounce is key. And then we'll see, right? The lower high compared to our previous high is expected. It's just how high can they get? And then will they be able to set a higher low compared to this low here and change for the daily uptrend? QQQ same concept, okay? So QQQ, same concept, hourly uptrend is changed for the bulls at this point, creating a decent amount of space. We're going to see, can we just continue this hourly uptrend higher and higher here the whole time that we're in an hourly uptrend? Your daily bounce is underway. When you lose your hourly uptrend, okay, like this, then your daily bounce is finished. So we will now see how long can they maintain the daily bounce. I need to see them get as close as possible to 371, but we will be dealing with a bit of resistance here. Resistance all the way up here at 362, this whole little pocket right here, and then you have your moving averages. So if we can get as high up here as possible in the next few days, then it'll give us a good shot at potentially a reset of a daily uptrend into mid of October here. This little downswing right here would look perfect. And if you can see the date on the bottom of my screen down there, right down there, you'll see that that's around the 10th of October, right? And this chart would look fairly decent if my Picasso skills, my drawing skills do plan out. So that is the type of scenario I'm looking for the bulls. But if they can't get it done, then they do open the door for the bears to just roll over into further daily downtrend continuation, which is the expected move anyways, right? I have to give it to the bears. They're in control of the daily, control of the weekly here. So now the burden is on the bulls. Can they reverse into a daily uptrend, or will we just get further downside continuation into mid-October here, sending the weekly a bit lower here, and then have to reset at a lower level? These are the things that I'm watching out for. But for now, your daily bounce is underway. XLF. XLF also daily bounce underway. Go back to the basic, guys. Hourly uptrend is confirmed now by the bulls. So hourly uptrend means that your daily bounce is underway. We're going to have a bit of a struggle here. However, guys, we have the moving averages up here at 34. We also have this 34 to 33.50 area, which was previous resistance for a long time. It's been previous support as well. So bulls are going to have a tough time smashing through this. We're going to need some broad market participation for the bulls to smash through this. But same as everything else, the size of the bounce is key. Get me a nice little bounce to the higher end of this range, to the $34 level. Then we can potentially look at seeing if the bulls have enough to set up for a daily trend change. It's going to take some time, but that is the scenario that I'm looking for here. So first things first, hourly uptrend to the bulls. When they lose the hourly uptrend here, I'll go over these charts slowly. When they lose the hourly uptrends, your daily bounce is finished. And that's when you look for, can they set a higher low compared to your previous low and give us a new daily uptrend here. It's going to take some time though, guys. These patterns, these daily patterns take a while to change. You're talking about 1 to 2 weeks, and that would play in with seasonality. XLV Healthcare. Oh, by the way, on XLF. XLF, if for whatever which reason, guys, we do drop into the lower 32 range, I will be writing options on XLF. I do think that it's from good risk to reward down here, right? Considering the fact we are in a daily downtrend, a weekly downtrend as well. If we do pull back into here, guys, massive support around the $32 range, I will be a buyer. Now, XLV Healthcare. XLV Healthcare having a decent little day, guys, 0.5% upright, but still not able to put in much of a move here. But we look on the hourly, guys. They have changed the hourly trend change to the bulls, not as convincingly as the other charts here, but they are trying to do it. So you have to give them that, guys. So let's see if we can get a little healthcare bounce underway. I'm going to need to see them, guys, come as close as possible to your 131 pocket. Bunch of resistance up here, guys. This whole area is going to be resistance, and you also have all of your moving averages as resistance. So if you can get up here, normal that they get rejected, then can they hold a higher low and reset for the daily uptrend? Or, as with the expected move, since it's a daily downtrend here, right? The expected move on all these is just daily downtrend continuation. I'm just giving the bulls the benefit of the doubt and trying to go for the more optimistic scenario here. If all of these flush and continue to lower lows, that's just the way they're set up currently, right? We're trying to find reversal patterns. So that's what we're looking for, guys. Key level remains 127, guys. 127 on this monthly as well is absolutely crucial for the bulls to protect. So we will see if they can protect that. We'll see if they can get first things first going. Need the daily trend change. IWM Russell, give me 2 seconds, guys. So IWM Russell also coming back into our area, previous area of support, right? Whole resistance, support, right? Around here, coming back into it now. Your daily bounce is underway. Why? Hourly uptrend change. Have not had an hourly uptrend this entire time since pretty much, I mean, even last Thursday, guys, they didn't, this is 2 Thursdays ago, pretty much, right? Never set an hourly uptrend. Uptrend set is something like this, right? They only get one leg up, and then the bears reverse it entirely and continue trending down. So it's been over at this point, guys, haven't had an hourly uptrend since here. You see how clear this is, right? Let me zoom into it. See how clear of an hourly uptrend this is all the way through Friday, the 1st of September? And then absolutely no hourly uptrends this entire time. This is the first one, guys, in pretty much like a month, right? So it has to be notable to you. Hourly uptrend has now shifted to the bulls. We'll see how long can they do it. As long as they do it, guys, we need to get as close as possible to the last guy that started this whole downswing here. So 186, get me as high as possible to 186, all right? If we get rejected here at 181, I won't be surprised. It's an area of resistance. We have the moving averages up here. So if we can pull up into 181, it creates some space to then being able to use this whole area as support once again, set something up like this for mid-October for a potential reversal here. But if for any which reason we do roll over in the next week of trading again, keep an eye on the lower areas, guys. I will definitely be writing some options in the lower 170s if we continue to pull down here. This is the crucial area of support for this chart. It's been support for pretty much a year at this point, guys, so it will be fairly strong. If we do pull back here, I will definitely be writing options. But first things first, need to watch for the reversal into a new daily uptrend, guys. Bears have been in control this entire month. Dow Jones, same concept as well, right? Never got the daily uptrend. This has just been nonstop bear activity here, constantly resetting to the daily downtrend. So now Dow Jones as well, you can see that our hourly uptrend is starting to form here, guys. Not the cleanest. You're going to need to see a break of 33,771 for that hourly uptrend to really be in effect here. But daily bounce can be underway if the rest of the market does bounce here. So where are we looking for, guys? This is going to be a key area of resistance as well here, 34,000, right? So we need to get as close as possible, guys, to 35. This entire move down is one move. So the last guy that started this down move is right up here, 35,000. Need to get us as close as possible here on this bounce to 35,000. They're not going to make it all the way. There's no chance. But if they can make it up to 34, they can create some room for a potential daily uptrend reversal here. So we're going to need to take these things one step at a time. As of now, the bears are in full control. They can absolutely flush this, and I would not be surprised. We're just looking out for reversal points. And the key area here, guys, on the longer time frames, it has to be your 33,000, 32,700 level, right? That is key level here. It's been an area of support. This entire line right here, right? 32.7. That entire line has been support for the better part of the last 7-8 months. We're going to be looking for the bulls to use that. But looking decent, guys, for a first little day of a bounce. We'll see how long the bulls can keep this up. Bitcoin, not much change here, guys. You want me to cover Bitcoin quickly? You'll see that we are still stuck in this massive 1 2 month, no, actually just 1 month long range, right? Bulls are trying for the daily trend change, trying, but they can't get it, guys. We haven't had a daily uptrend for the bulls since pretty much July at this point, right? So they're trying for their first daily trend change. To get it, we're going to need a crack of 27,400-ish. If we can get that going, it will be a daily uptrend started. And at that point, we can start looking, okay, can they crack 28,000 and then potentially get back us up to the 29,000 levels? But for now, bulls are just making an attempt at it. But if we get shut down, once again, like a lot of these moves do, just move up and then just get shut down, right? You know, it's been happening a bunch of times in the past. So remains to be seen. Will they just get shut down and go more into a tightening range, or can they actually set a daily uptrend and give us some trending momentum here on Bitcoin? But as of now, guys, nothing really notable to be seen on crypto as a whole. Apple, let's go over Apple quickly here. So Apple also coming back down into the 170 area today. Once again, trying to push below 170, got all the way down as low as 168, guys, right? In the 167s even, 167.62. So as of now, the bears are still in full control on Apple here. Apple, we do not have a confirmed hourly trend change yet. We will need to see that tomorrow. Need to see a break of today's high, 172. We can see a break of 172. Hourly uptrend will be set. And at that point, your daily bounce will be underway. And when the daily bounce is underway, guys, I need to see them get as close as possible to 180. Get me as close as possible to 180. Then we can kind of scout for a potential daily trend change here. I will be also, when Apple does do that, guys, I will definitely be keep on writing next week. Next week, guys, if we stay between this 170, 165 range, I will be writing options on Apple all day, every single day, because this is my sweet spot for this stock. I really like it here, despite the fact that we are in a weekly downtrend here, especially with September coming to an end here, right? The monthly doesn't look too bad. I wouldn't be surprised if in the first week of October, so next week, We could even pull back a little bit more, set a little tail like this candle right here into the month of October, and then pretty much start to curl up for the remainder of the year here. So that's my expected scenario. We'll see what happens, obviously, but Apple not looking too bad. Just looking for the daily bounce at this point. Need to see them bounce as high as possible, get me as close as possible to 180. We'll measure the size of the bounce, and then can they change the daily trend? All of these charts are the same, guys. Bears control daily downtrends, weekly downtrends. So now you have to focus. When do we get the daily trend change? And it all starts by measuring the size of the bounce. So most of these charts analysis will be the same. AMD, huge bounce on AMD today, 4.78% to the upside. I really like this bounce here, guys. What was I saying? I need the AMD bulls to get as close as possible to 104. That's exactly what they did. So this is a great example of a daily downtrend right here, right? Now, the most recent leg has been engulfed by the bulls. This is what I mean when I say create some space off the lows. You can see the bulls have created a decent amount of space. If we start pulling back from here, loads of space above 94 to set a daily higher low for a potential daily trend change, right? So going to be looking out for that on AMD. Daily trend change is still not set. It's a very nice move, but AMD still representing some very good risk to reward. As long as we stay down here in the lower 100 range next week as well, I will be writing options in this $95 to $100 zone. It's a perfect zone for me. It is my sweet spot on AMD. We were getting a bit nervous here whether it was going to tumble to the 90s or potential 80s. And if it does come down there, guys, I'll be writing even more contracts. But for now, I like this move on AMD. Remains to be seen. Can they change the daily trend, or will the bears somehow just completely reverse and flush this? But AMD looking good. I like the size of this bounce here, and I like these prices as well. Amazon also with a little bit of a bounce today, ending flat, however, here at 120, around 126, right? So we did dip a lot on the morning here, and then we recovered all the way back above to 126. So you can see, guys, that this line that I've got on the chart has been acting as previous support, right? So Amazon getting potentially ready for a bounce here. You can see that every time the bulls have tried to push the last 2 days, I mean the bears, they haven't been able to get through. So we will see, can Amazon give us an hourly trend change? Hourly trend change will mean that your daily bounce is underway. Then get me as close as possible here to 146. It's not going to go all the way up, guys. You have to target previous areas here. I would target the 135 zone, moving averages, and this whole previous area, which will now be, unfortunately, resistance, right? This is going to be a resistance zone. So I will be targeting up here. If you come back all the way up into here, guys, it's very possible that you've created enough space to set. Sorry, I hope I hit the mute button in time, guys. I had to sneeze there. So I hope they come up all the way back up to 135-ish to give themselves enough space to create this daily trend change. So one thing at a time, guys, right? One thing at a time. Need to see the daily trend change reversal. But if for any which reason we don't bounce high enough and roll over, keep an eye. My sweet spot is definitely down to 118 to 115. If we come down here, I'll be writing more options on Amazon. I still have a 124 for tomorrow. We'll see if we get assigned on it or if we close above and can just capture all the premium. But I like Amazon at these prices, guys. We're all the way back to June prices. In 3 weeks, we've undone 3 months plus of trading. So you have to like these discounts, guys. That's a heck of a discount in just a few days, right? 15%. I'll take it. So that's why I'm writing them. Now, let's get over to Google. Google doing pretty well today as well, guys. 1.27% bounce, right? So Google bounce is clearly underway. This is a very good example, guys, of a chart that your daily bounce is underway. Look at this clean hourly uptrend here. So the whole time that they maintain this hourly uptrend, guys, your daily bounce will be underway here. Google already retesting the moving averages here. When you want to look at the size of the bounce, you just have to see, guys, how much of this move have they taken back so far? 50%. So good bounce, guys. They've taken back 50% of that entire drop. Very, very good. Playing with the moving averages now as resistance, completely normal, guys. And this whole area 134 is also going to be horizontal resistance. So we'll see, have they created enough space to set the daily trend change? But Google bulls reacting very nicely off this 129 support area. Google, the only major tech name pretty much with Tesla, not losing your weekly lows. Everybody else except for actually Meta, Google at this point, and Tesla not losing the lows. Everybody else has lost the lows. I like Google from here. Bit too high in price for me. If we do continue to roll over here, however, I will definitely be taking some options here if we come down to the 124 to 120. And my sweet spot, guys, is under 120 down to 115. So just keep that in mind. But I like the size of this bounce. Can they transfer it into a daily uptrend? That will be the key because they lost the daily uptrend here, right? So now we have to get it back. Meta Meta, very decent performance on Meta, if I do say so myself, guys. Up 2%. Very, very nice day on Meta here. So Meta bulls are trying to reverse the daily downtrend, right? So now you can see clean, clean, clean hourly uptrend. This whole thing was very, very, very messy. Very messy. But now clean hourly uptrend here off of the lows of yesterday's speech that Mark Zuckerberg was giving, their little Facebook event for their AI and metaverse, whatnot. So clean hourly uptrend. We'll see if they can maintain it into tomorrow, guys. What I need to see in Meta for us to be trending nicely again is a break of 312. Give me a break of 312. I will say bulls are in full control. And then any dip will just be to set a higher low as compared to our 289 low right here, right? And then it will be nice to reset a daily uptrend. But for now, Meta doing fairly decently. It's just price action very, very, very choppy recently, guys. That's why I need to see a break of 312. And obviously, we roll over the downside, guys, back into this zone. Well, your key support area, guys, is this whole 285 pocket. Lose that pocket here, and you'll also lose the weekly uptrend. But for now, Meta bulls playing great defense at this 12 EMA, this yellow line right here. Look at this. Beautiful defense. They've been doing it all year. They continue to do it. So very good job on Meta, but just not very clean in terms of price action recently. But no real red flags, guys. Microsoft. Now, Microsoft performing somewhat decently here, guys, right? They were up 0.27%. They were not dropping a bit more. So let's go to the hourly, guys. The hourly process of reversal is not finished yet. Need to see the hourly uptrend. If we get it into tomorrow, perfect. Hourly uptrend is underway. I can say that your daily bounce will be underway, right? And then once you get the daily bounce, you guys now know the drill after me telling you this for 25 minutes. Once we get the hourly uptrend, daily bounce is underway. Get me as high as possible. 341. They won't make it all the way. They'll probably make it only half the way or a bit more. And then if they can make it to around the 325 pocket right above these moving averages, you will create enough space to potentially get an opportunity for a daily trend change, not a guarantee. If not, if they bounce too shallow right here and then they start rolling over, well, perfect. That'll just be daily downtrend continuation. It'll be weekly downtrend continuation, and then we'll be in my juicy sweet spot. And I haven't written Microsoft in a while, so I'm getting pretty anxious. If we do come down into here, juicy area for me, guys. Microsoft, very good value down in this spot, in my opinion. Obviously, down here, it's much better value. But for current times, I'm not expecting a 30% from 52-week high drop here, right? So we got to take what we get. That's why my sweet spots are conservative, but not too conservative. I'm being realistic. If we come down to this area, I am buying. Now, NVIDIA, a nice little day here on NVIDIA, right? 1.5%. So bulls are trying the best that they can to reverse this, right? So hourly uptrend has been set to the bulls yesterday and today, right? Now you can see clear hourly uptrend. So your daily bounce is underway. We will see how high can they get in relation to this level right here, 460, right? This most recent bear leg down, 460. Get us as close as possible. You could set up for the potential for a daily trend change. Bears obviously control the daily downtrend at this point. So if we bounce shallow and they flush, will be no surprise. It'll just be daily downtrend continuation. That is the expected move. But if we want a trend change, they have to bounce high compared to 360. If we do flush, 400 is key level, guys. These are weekly lows. Lose the weekly lows, and you just get sent in a further monthly consolidation. But the bulls playing some good aggressive offense here today. I mean, not so much, move on NVIDIA, right? 6 days. And look how tiny of this move is compared to most of their most recent moves, right? So I don't like the size of the bounce on NVIDIA so far, in my opinion. It's NVIDIA. It usually moves more than this. We should already be back up to around 445 right now, but we're not. The bulls, I'll give them the fact that they're trying right now, but they kind of look weak in terms of in relation to other names. But still, we will give them their daily bounce. We'll just see when it tops out. And now our three last ones. Now, Tesla. So Tesla here doing a great job here, guys, up 2.44%. Your daily bounce is definitely underway. Why? Hourly trend change yesterday and today, right? So hourly trend change have not had an hourly uptrend this entire move pretty much since Friday the 15th. So over 2 weeks ago, guys, they tried for it here, but we got shut down by Jerome Powell. So nothing you can do there. So now we're trying again for the hourly trend change. So your daily bounce is underway on Tesla. Now, what do we need on Tesla? Same thing. Get me as close as possible to 280. Close as possible to 280. They won't get there all the way, although it is Tesla, right? But they're probably not going to get there all the way. So we'll see the size of the bounce. If I can get up to around 260, get me up to 260, and I'll be confident in saying the bulls have created space to give themselves an opportunity for a daily trend change reversal here. If, however, for which reason we roll over, potentially at these moving averages, if we just do this and then roll over, you know, we may flush lower for the daily downtrend continuation. Then we come into my sweet spot, 230 down to 210, and we'll definitely be writing some options. But on the weekly, guys, we'd just be pretty much like tightening up, right? What I've been saying is that we're probably going to tighten up until we're going to get our delivery numbers here, which is pretty much coming out next Monday. And then we do have earnings here in about 2-3 weeks, right? So probably I wouldn't be surprised if we might just tighten up into earnings here. And now let's go over Palantir and PayPal. Palantir, surprising me, guys. Really, really coming alive here. Good job by Palantir Bulls, guys. Congratulations to our Palantir Bulls. Coming up, did exactly what I wanted them to. Need to get as high as to 1630, right? So they undid all of this most recent bear leg down in 2 days. Massive days. Palantir up 6%. Very good job of the Bulls saving potential disaster. If we would have lost this 1360 level, guys, I told you what I thought, right? Head and shoulders, nasty head and shoulders, and we would have rolled over potentially down to $12, $11 here just on a technical basis alone. But the Bulls stepping in, guys, protecting your weekly lows here for the third time. So we'll see. What I need to see now, guys, from the Bulls is now that we're up here, guys, can we change into a daily uptrend? Haven't had a daily uptrend, guys, since pretty much back here, right? So haven't been able to get it here. We got it slightly here, but then it kind of faded into a tightening range. So now remains to be seen. Can we get Palantir trending once more? I like the size of this bounce though, guys, engulfing all of your previous move. So can we break this range? Break 1630 with 2 more nice little candles, and I'll be able to say, okay, the Bulls have potentially set themselves up for a nice daily trend change. And at that point, guys, it will be a fairly good opportunity here to maybe be writing some options even in the 14, 15 range. But I need to see a bit more on Palantir here for them to really break out of this cycle and really break out of this capacity, right, of the bears at any point to just take over and roll this over. And now lastly, PayPal. So PayPal didn't have a bad day at all, 1.5% to the upside here, but still struggling at our lows. You can see that the last 5 days of trading, we've basically been inside pretty much the $58, $56 range. So I'm still looking for PayPal here to break your $60. If we can get really above $60, your daily bounce will be underway, guys. Still no hourly trend change that much, right? I mean, we did get a small one here, but I really need to see a break of your $60. This day on Wednesday was absolutely brutal for PayPal. So yesterday, right? So still, you know, it's kind of like the Bulls grind up and then they just all get taken away in one clean shot in a few hours, right? So PayPal fairly weak. I do really like it at these levels. Still struggling, guys, with this 57 area double bottom, right? So the Bulls don't want to give this up. I can see that they're fighting, but I need to see a bit more, guys. Once your daily bounce is underway, I need to see them get as close as possible to 66. Get me up to around 61, 62, and I'll be able to say, okay, we might have the chance for a daily uptrend reversal. But if for whatever reason, guys, we do roll over down into the lower $50 range, I will be averaging, guys. I want anything under 55. Anything under 55, and I'm going to throw another 100 or 200 shares at this bad boy, okay? But for now, PayPal looking somewhat weak, guys. Really need to get us a nice little bounce in the 61, 62 to set us up for a daily trend change because the bears are in full control right now. All right. And then lastly, my portfolio, guys, going to go over this quickly because I know the video is long. Excuse me. So portfolio was up a bit today. You can see, guys, that we were up about 2.5% today, 34.72% at today's close. The S&P 500 only about 11.33. So we are up 3x the S&P 500. Pretty happy about that on the year, even though recently has been a quite tough time trading October and August and September. But you can see that we did not drop. Ever since my worst portfolio day all year, we've kind of been able to kind of just keep it even, writing some decent premium, and our long positions have been dropping, but with the premium that I collect on a weekly basis, that's why the account remains the same, guys. So once these long shares come up, guys, like we're going to get a nice little run here into the end of the year. So I'm telling you, I can feel it, and that's how it usually goes, guys. That's why I run this strategy. So now looking at the positions here, guys, let me move myself over so you can see that everything is still on deck. AstraZeneca 66s, average price. Their now last price is 15 cents. They're still trading around 67.5. CSIQs here, 25 puts. We'll see if we get assigned tomorrow. But as of now, guys, they are currently under 24.79. So we'll see if we get assigned 200 shares extra of CSIQ. If we do, guys, my average will be down in the 28.33 level. So fairly good average here, guys. Done a good job of averaging down. And then you can see the Apples 170s. We'll see if they close below 170. Amazon 124. You guys saw close at 126. And now what did we do? We closed out the Tesla 227.5. So you guys know that I wrote them yesterday for around 70 cents. And we were able to close them today for 8 cents. So roughly 90% profit on that position. Fairly happy about that. So we closed out the Tesla. And what did we write instead? We write the American Express 149s. for tomorrow here, guys. American Express is another company that I've been looking to shop for. If I get assigned at 149, guys, I will be very pleased, as as this is a very good area of support. It's this yellow line on the chart, 149. So you can see that it's acted as support. Yes, we do have a few breakthroughs here down to 140, but that's not that much lower, guys. In the grand scheme of things, American Express is a company that just churns out profit. I love them. It's one of my favorite companies, as well as MasterCard and Visa, for obvious reasons, guys. Their revenues just consistently go up. They do have fairly decent margins as well. They have a very loyal customer base and whatnot. And the stock has been on a heck of a decline since 180, ever since pretty much the end of July here. So just looking to take some shares here and potentially ride them to the upside. That's why I did write them for tomorrow. Fairly close at 149. If we do get assigned, I will be quite happy here. So we'll take an eye on that. Enphase 114s, I mean, Enphase still trading around 120, so these should probably end worthless tomorrow. My Philip Morris 91s, Philip Morris had a nice little pop today. That's normal. They were right close to support, so I was expecting a little pop. We got it today here, so you can see the 91 is this green line right here, and we're off it right now. We're around $93, so probably going to end worthless as well on those. So all in all, guys, a nice week. Most of these positions should end worthless. Maybe just CSIQ I get assigned. Not quite sure. Apple, maybe. But if I do get assigned Apple or American Express, any of these I will happily take, guys, because they're all at beautiful levels, right? And that is pretty much it, guys. As you guys know, we do have a 300 share position now on TMF. $5.61 average cost, so still we're trading below that right now, right? And my Canadian banking shares also down ever so slightly. You guys can see that I did average even more. So on the last few days, I've added to these positions as well. Still chilling here with 200 PayPal at 66.59 and some CSIQs as well here. So my break even on PayPal, if you want me to bring it up real quick, break even with premium on PayPal and everything, guys, is roughly around $65.81. That's with the covered calls I was able to write and whatnot. So that's our break even. So that's how high I need to go to be able to write some calls on this bad boy. So guys, that's pretty much everything for today's video. Apologies that it was a bit of a long one, but a lot of things to cover. I know you guys wanted me to cover the bounce and what's needed for that. So that is what I tried to do. Hope you appreciated it. If you did appreciate it, guys, consider liking the video. I would appreciate that. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. And as always, any questions, options, stocks, macro, feel free to ask me in the comments down below, and I'll usually get back to you within the first 24 hours. So take care, guys, and I'll see you after the close tomorrow for Friday, and we will do our monthly chart recaps tomorrow after the close, because that's the edit for September. Hope you guys made it through alive. Take care. Peace.